The year is 2024. Humanity stands on the cusp of unimaginable technological breakthroughs: quantum computing, artificial intelligence, genetic engineering. The progress is mind-boggling, but there's a question that haunts even the most brilliant minds. How did we get here so fast? To answer this, we must journey back, farther than recorded history, beyond the rise of civilization, to a time when Earth was young and humanity was not yet the masters of the world. 7 million years ago, deep in the heart of ancient Africa, a group of primates began to change. One day, driven by a need to see beyond the tall grasses, a lone chimp-like creature stood upright. It was an act of curiosity, an adaptation to survival, but it was also the first step in a grand design. Over the next few million years, these beings, hominins, evolved. They looked like apes, but they were not mere animals. Their brains were growing, becoming more complex. They started using simple tools: sticks to fish termites out of mounds, stones to crack open nuts. They were learning, adapting, evolving. They hunted in groups, bringing down game much larger than themselves. They discovered fire, a force so powerful that it became the cornerstone of their survival. But progress was slow, almost painfully so. It took countless generations for them to figure out how to shape stones into sharper tools, how to use fire to harden wooden spears, how to work together to bring down the most fearsome predators. Life was harsh, brutal, and unforgiving, but it was also full of potential. Then something extraordinary happened. Around 300,000 years ago, a new species emerged, Homo sapiens. They were similar to their ancestors, but different in one critical way. They were smarter, much smarter. Homo sapiens spread out of Africa, slowly at first, then more rapidly, as they encountered and outcompeted other hominins like the Neanderthals. It was a war for survival, and the sapiens were ruthless. By 30,000 years ago, they were the only humans left, standing alone at the top of the food chain. But with dominance came an explosion of creativity and innovation. The sapiens began building complex societies, developing languages, and creating art. They learned to cultivate the land, domesticate animals, and build permanent settlements. Their tools evolved from simple stone implements to more sophisticated weapons and devices. But the pace of this evolution was staggering. In just a few millennia, they went from living in caves to constructing the first temples, like the mysterious Göbekli Tepe, which appeared out of nowhere 12,000 years ago. And then, as if out of nowhere, humanity's technological prowess skyrocketed. From the invention of the wheel to the creation of the written word, from the construction of the pyramids to the development of advanced metallurgy, each leap forward seemed almost too sudden, too perfect. The question is, how? How could a species that took millions of years to discover fire suddenly master the intricacies of agriculture, architecture, and astronomy within a few thousand years? The answer lies in ancient texts, scattered across different cultures and continents. These texts speak of beings that descended from the heavens, gods who walked among men. But these were not gods in the traditional sense. They were beings from another world, an advanced civilization that came to Earth for reasons that remain shrouded in mystery. The Sumerians, the first known civilization, referred to them as the Annunaki, those who came from the sky. According to their texts, the Annunaki arrived on Earth in search of something valuable, something they could not find on their own planet. They needed a workforce, a species that could labor in their mines and fields, a species they could control. But rather than enslaving the primitive hominins they found on Earth, the Annunaki decided to create something new. Using their advanced genetic knowledge, they began to experiment, mixing their DNA with that of the hominins. The result was Homo sapiens, a hybrid species designed to be intelligent enough to follow orders, but not so advanced as to question their place. These ancient texts suggest that humanity was not a product of natural evolution, but of deliberate engineering. The sudden leaps in technology, the inexplicable rise of civilization, all of it points to the influence of these visitors from the stars. For thousands of years, the Anunnaki ruled over humanity, guiding the early civilizations and using them to extract the resources they needed. The humans, for their part, worshipped these beings as gods, building massive temples and monuments in their honor. But as the human population grew, so did their awareness. They began to question their place in the world, to wonder why they were subservient to these gods. Rebellion brewed in the hearts of men, and eventually it erupted into full-scale revolt. The ancient stories speak of a great war, a cataclysmic conflict between the Anunnaki and their human creations. The details are lost to time, but the outcome is clear. The Anunnaki, seeing that they could no longer control their creation, decided to destroy them. They unleashed a great flood, a deluge that was meant to wipe out all life on Earth. But humanity was resilient. Some survived, hidden away in high mountains and remote areas. They rebuilt, slowly at first, but with each generation they grew stronger. The memory of the Anunnaki faded into myth and legend, their influence forgotten by all but a few. Today we look at the ancient stories of gods and demigods as mere mythology, the imaginative tales of a primitive people. But what if there's more to these stories than we've ever imagined? What if the rapid advancement of our species wasn't a natural evolution, but a product of ancient interference? As we stand on the brink of creating life ourselves through artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and other emerging technologies, we must ask ourselves, are we simply following in the footsteps of our creators? And if so, what does that mean for our future? Some believe that the Anunnaki never truly left. They watch from the shadows, guiding humanity in ways we cannot perceive, waiting for the right moment to return. Others suggest that we've outgrown our creators, that humanity has become something more than they ever intended, a species with the potential to reach the stars on our own terms. But the truth remains hidden, buried in the sands of time and the pages of ancient texts. As we continue to unlock the secrets of our past, we may one day discover that the story of humanity is far more complex and far more extraordinary than we ever imagined. In the end, the story of humanity is not just about evolution or technology. It's a story of rebellion, of survival, and of the indomitable human spirit. Whether we were engineered by beings from another world or not, we've come to define our own destiny. But as we continue to push the boundaries of what it means to be human, we must never forget where we came from and the ancient forces that may still shape our future.